One new coach in is another one leaving. It's Locked On Sunbelt.
You are Locked On Sunbelt, your daily podcast on the Sunbelt Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. Make sure this is working. There we go. All right, that's better. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Another good edition of the show. Continue to please subscribe. We need your help to get to 1,000. Drive for 1,000. So far, I mean, we're doing pretty well, but we're going to fall short of that goal here. So please subscribe on YouTube. Audio downloads are doing great, so appreciate that. Apple Podcast, Spotify, and wherever you get your audio podcasts, Locked On a Sunbelt. All right, in today's episode, ULM officially announces their hire, and there's still potential for somebody else to leave, and we can talk about that as well. Former Jag wide receiver Caullin Lacy getting Power 5 offers. I don't think that's any surprise, being fifth in the nation in receiving yards. He can play from the slot and go deep. And Cliff Ellis, the Coastal Carolina head basketball coach, reportedly is going to announce his retirement later on today. So we'll get into all of that. But officially, ULM announces their hire. We thought it was a good move yesterday, as John Hartwell announced it at about 3:30 Tuesday, and they will have an announcement. I believe it is 11 a.m. on today, 11 a.m. today. So, and hopefully we will have the new coach on along with John Hartwell either this week or next week moving forward. So hopefully that will be the case. But if we missed yesterday's episode, here we go. All right, so Bryant Vincent named ULM head football coach Louisiana Monroe. That was tweeted out at 3:40 on Tuesday, and they will have an 11 a.m. Announcement today. So Bryant Vincent, again, he's got some really good experience in the Sunbelt footprint. All right, he was a high school football coach at Spanish Fort. They are a local power in the Mobile area. They're across the water, per se, from Mobile. Such as, I mean, these guys weren't there when he was there, but you have DJ James from Auburn. He's going to the Senior Bowl. You got Chris Abrams-Drain. He's going to the Senior Bowl. Both those gentlemen played at Spanish Fort. And Sterling Dixon, although didn't start his career at Spanish Fort, finished it up there this year. He is a big-time prospect heading to Alabama. So they have been talented for a long time. He did win a state title while he was coaching at Spanish Fort. He had two different stints with South Alabama, also went up to UAB and was there for a little bit. May have had a little, let's say, recruiting hijinks, whatever. May have taken a job at UAB and taken a recruit or two with him to Birmingham, c'est la vie, when he left South Alabama. But he stayed there, and he took over for Bill Clark. Bill Clark rebuilt UAB. But unfortunately, he had to step down due to a painful bad back. I don't think he could stand up. And so he called it a career in the middle of the season a couple of years ago. And Bryant Vincent took over. This past year, obviously, Trent Dilfer came in, and he took over at UAB, and Vincent went to New Mexico, not New Mexico State, but New Mexico, and their offense improved to about 10 points more per game. Again, we mentioned this yesterday. It's important to be very familiar and to know what you're getting into when you're taking the ULM job, and know, most importantly, it's not going to be a quick fix. This is a process, and I'm sure John Hartwell understands that. This is different than, an Auburn trying to play quick fix with a transfer portal, or a Power 5 school trying to do it with the transfer portal. Well, this is, again, we mentioned it. I think ULM is the hardest job in FBS football. I really do. And if you can just get a little bit of support, a little bit of NIL money going, and get guys that want to be there and take advantage of, being a college athlete and playing college football and going to school for free and getting an education. These guys are, you're not getting that extra year, but, you get 5 years to do this, and you got to give them that opportunity. And the big thing I always say, although it's different these days, it used to be, right, like back in the day, very, very rarely did you get on the field and play much before you're a redshirt sophomore, right? You were basically heading into your third season there, right? Your redshirt, your freshman year, your redshirt freshman year, and then you're a redshirt sophomore. These days, freshmen and true freshmen play all the time, right? Jalen Rayner, true freshman. So they play all the time. But the thing is, at ULM, you can say, hey, we got playing time now. You want playing time? You're not going to have to sit behind anybody if you come to ULM. All right. That is one of the potential inducements that he can recruit with. All right. All right. The other coach that may be out, we'll see. Chris Vanini from, I got it here. I thought I had it here. From The Athletic. He is reporting who Duke is looking at. Also, we're still waiting to hear from JMU. They seem to be taking their time. You would have thought that would have been done a little bit quicker, right? Because that was going on for a while, and it happened last week, and you would have thought they would have had somebody already raring to go. That seems to be taking a long time. I'm not sure what's going on there. But Chris Vanini reporting coaches still in the mix for the Duke job include Manny Diaz, former Miami head coach, Penn State defensive coordinator, Jason Candle, Jim Knowles, and Troy's John Summerall. All right. It is a risky job. I know the Duke's a tough place to play. Mike Elko got the benefit of Riley Leonard. Could be a top quarterback taken in the draft next year, although he's not sticking around. We don't know what the ACC is going to look like. I don't know if you can not take a job based on that, but college football is moving really fast. There is a radio broadcaster out there that's got a conspiracy theory which I love. They purposely did not take Florida State to break up the ACC. Okay. It's a great conspiracy theory. But can you take a job at Duke and not know? It'd be one thing, we don't know what college football is going to look like in 10 years, but we may not know what Duke looks like in like 3. All right. And we can get into the whole Charlie Baker thing. Maybe we'll do that when John Hartwell comes on to talk to an AD. The Charlie Baker proposal is a little ridiculous, and it's really going to separate college football or college sports, as the case may be, that they have to have 30,000 per student, and that's going to be men and women. We'll figure that one out a different time. But the point is that John Summerall still seems to be being considered at Duke, and I'm not sure that's the kind of job he is looking for. That could be me, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, Duke, but I'm not sure he needs that kind of gig. He's going to be looking for something. That just seems like he's going to anybody would take that job and then leave, just like Mike Elko. And I'm not sure that's what John Summerall is all about. It's not about staying at Troy per se, although in this case it is. It's about trying to get the right job at the right time. Now, Mike Elko did. Mike Elko went from, from Notre Dame to A&M to Duke, now to A&M. So maybe you have to do that. But John Summerall's doing it at Troy. He didn't get his chance to do it at a Power 5 school, but he's doing it at Troy. So I'm not sure if he needs the middling Power 5 football job. I don't know. Maybe I want him to stay. I'm sure Troy wants him to stay. I know Duke would offer him a lot more money. The one thing you do get with Duke is it's a basketball school. No matter what he does, it's a basketball school. So you kind of get to hide in the shadows, per se. It's not of Mike Krzyzewski anymore, but Duke is a basketball school. All right. So that would be, as far as I'm concerned, one positive, although they will continue to build the football program. So we'll see and keep you tuned in to see if John Summerall ends up at Duke. But that's Chris Vanini reporting in The Athletic. All right, let's take a time out. When we come back, you have Caullin Lacy and others in the transfer portal. We will do that next. All right. Let me tell you about Jase case. I know we come to sports to escape from some crazy realities of real life, but can we just talk for a minute about preparing for real life? According to the FBA, pharmacies are running out of antibiotics like amoxicillin right in the middle of the worst flu season in over a decade, and this is scary. I can't imagine a more helpless feeling than if one of my brothers or mom got sick while a supply chain issue kept them from life-saving medication they needed. Thankfully, we'll be okay because of Jase Medical. The Jase case is a pack of 5 different antibiotics to treat a long list of bacterial illnesses, including UTIs, respiratory infections, sinusitis, skin infections, among others. The stuff could happen to any of us. Visit jasemedical.com and complete your physician encounter. It will be reviewed by a board-certified physician, and your medications will be dispensed by a licensed pharmacy at a fraction of the regular cost. It's never been more important to be prepared than today. Go to jasemedical.com and use the offer code LOCKEDON to get $20 off your order. All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. The portal is rocking and rolling. You had a Texas Tech quarterback, Tyler Schrow, who's going to be 25. He is committing to Louisville. Caullin Lacy from South Alabama, he got an offer from Auburn and now is visiting A&M. And Kendra Gant, he tweeted out, the linebacker from the Cajuns, he tweeted out that he's officially in the transfer portal. We'll see where he ends up. These things, if it doesn't happen fast, it may not happen, right? We talked Riley Leonard. He's supposed to be at Notre Dame today and tomorrow. So you would think that if he leaves without a commitment both ways, then he may find another place to play. For as Caullin Lacy goes, you could kind of see this one coming because they're breaking in a new quarterback. They're breaking in Gio Lopez at South Alabama. And he, I talked to, besides Ken Womack, I talked to another head coach in the Sun Belt, and they really liked him, and they recruited him as well. So they liked him. Maybe not the best spot in the world for him to go and make his first start against Troy. That's a little bit of a tough spot. But they really impressed with him. The thing is, that's not Carter Bradley. We're breaking in a new quarterback when Caullin Lacy wants to shine. Now, this is where, so I have to find out if Devin Voisin is coming back. So there's twins. You got Devin Voisin is the wide receiver. Jaden Voisin is the safety. Jaden was all Sun Belt this year, and the only way you can really tell the difference between them, sorry, Devin, Jaden looks like he plays defense. One guy looks like he plays wide receiver. The other guy looks like he plays defense. Just about a 10-pound difference. You can kind of see. Both great guys, by the way. And we hope Devin comes back and he's eligible to play. He was hurt early on in the season for South Alabama. But that didn't stop Caullin Lacy from shining. And if you haven't seen Caullin Lacy play, because him and Devin Voisin were top 5 in receiving in 2022, and they were really good at, the crossing routes, the slants, getting the first downs, and maybe overshadowed because Jalen Wayne was the deep threat. Well, Caullin Lacy was able to do both this year. He's able to get that first down for you, and he's able to go deep. And he had plenty of that. He was 5th in receptions in the nation and 5th in yardage in the nation. So whoever gets him is going to be better off. The thing is, he needs to make sure that the quarterback situation is settled. Do we know the quarterback situation at A&M? Is it Connor Wegman? I presume that it is, but he's going to be learning a new offense. Gio Lopez isn't learning a new offense as far as we know, right? So far, Kane Womack and Major Applewhite sticking around as far as we know. Then I presume Auburn, he's got an offer from Auburn, do you go with Grayson McCall? And now is Grayson McCall going to be learning a new offense? So it is going to be interesting, the moving parts when it comes to the transfer portal. And, a guy like Caullin Lacy needs to be careful. Now, if he gets money, it is what it is. All right. If he's getting, On3 has him as like $400,000. Okay. If you can go grab $500,000, that's fine. But if he's looking to make sure that he can show out and, and impress, NFL scouts, he needs to be able to have, a good quarterback. All right. So that's important. It'll be interesting to see what he does choose. He'll be another interesting one, next season, to go back to Mobile and be in the Senior Bowl. He's a great story. He went to a very small, private, Catholic school, and he was a running back and set all kinds of records as a running back. And now he's one of the premier wide receivers in college football. So congratulations to Caullin Lacy. Hope it does work out. I would be surprised if he does go back to South Alabama. It'd be nice if someone offered him a little NIL money to stick around. But he needs to be careful on where he goes just to make sure it's a little bit more settled than his potential options. So we'll see how that works out. All right, let's take a timeout. When we come back, the active winningest NCAA basketball coach is calling it a career. We'll talk about Cliff Ellis at Coastal Carolina after this. Let me tell you about FanDuel. As the weather gets colder, the NFL stays hot on FanDuel right now. New customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. So no NFL today. I looked at the NBA. Some teams I like and some teams stay away from. I didn't do anything yesterday, as the case may be. The Bucks have not been doing a good job covering. They did blow out the Knicks. So that was one thing. And then I was going to look at the Suns, and I was hesitating, right? But teams like Indiana, they do well, right? Tyrese Halliburton. Oklahoma City doing very well. Even the Pelicans seem to do better against better teams. They get the T-Wolves coming up here. We'll see how that works out moving forward. But we look forward to having some fun on FanDuel. Continuing with the NFL and, of course, the NBA and some college basketball. I'm learning not only to bet on the winners, but maybe on the teams that are not so good to cover. All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. I want to get this right because it was one person who reported it first and then others. I had it and then lost it. Here, Brandon Dunn from WPDE, ABC 15. He was the first one to report this at just after 5 o'clock Central Time. Coastal Carolina University Athletic Department will hold a press conference on Wednesday, December 6th at 1:30. Gut feeling has something to do with Coastal basketball program. Don't have information, just a guess. We'll find out Wednesday. All right, so once that happened, then the national guys got going, and Coaching Changes Twitter feed, and John Rothstein also had it. Coastal men's basketball coach Cliff Ellis expected to resign today. Associate head coach Benny Moss will take over for the rest of the season. Press conference is scheduled for, I guess it'll be 1:30 Eastern time, 12:30 Central time. Cliff is in his 17th season at Coastal. He led the program to 2 NCAA tournaments. I thought I saw he is 78, or was it 82? Let me see. I'm missing that. He has been around a long time. He is, with Jim Boeheim retiring, he is the oldest coach in the country at 78. Jeff Goodman reporting. He is the active winningest coach with Boeheim retiring, or the other, whatever you want to call that, with what happened. Cliff Ellis is your active NCAA coach, active leader in wins. I think it was 828 is what I looked up. And he's been coaching a long time, right? Someone had it right. How long ago he was coaching, right? He coached Clemson. He coached Auburn. He also coached at South Alabama. He still has some friends in Mobile. And when I had the chance to talk to him about coaching South Alabama and getting that program going, he said he was coaching, I think, against Gene Bartow and UAB, and they would sell out was it the Civic Center downtown? Like, he would have like 10,000 fans either in Mobile or in Birmingham. And this was a time when Alabama or Auburn basketball was not very popular, not at all. And he said it was a raucous crowd when they were playing, right? Unfortunately, now they play on campus in a gorgeous Mitchell Center, and they draw about 3,000 to 4,000 a night. Here we go. Mark Whiteman, the 78-year-old, led the Tigers, that's Clemson, to 3 NCAA tournaments from 84 to 94, and his 833 Division I wins are the 11th most all time, but he is the current active leader. Nobody coaching college basketball has more wins right now than Cliff Ellis. We'll find out why he decided to call it a career, less than a month into the season. It's a little bit disappointing. Hopefully he's okay health-wise. All right. Hopefully he's all right health-wise. Coastal off to a 3-5 start, but they've lost some close ball games. So we'll see what happens with Coastal moving forward. Again, Benny Moss is taking over. But you talk to Cliff Ellis about those old times, and he loves it. So, but he's been coaching a long time, had success almost everywhere that he went, right? Auburn, Clemson, Coastal, and all before that was South Alabama. So we're wishing the best to Cliff Ellis. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Locked On Sunbelt. We do hope to have Bryant Vincent on, the new head coach of ULM, moving forward. We're looking forward to grabbing John Hartwell, and we can ask him not only some specific questions to ULM, but also what may be happening on the NCAA level with Charlie Baker's proposal about having a certain amount of money for every student that's on scholarship. So we'll see how that works out. Again, thanks so much for tuning in. Please subscribe. And don't forget about those audio podcasts, wherever you get your audio podcasts. Just search for Locked On Sunbelt. I am your host, Dave Schultz, and you've been listening and watching to Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day.